It was why, when, where, what, how. Those were the things I really was asking myself, and I was asking myself for them for a long time.
It's like there's a story but there's no end. I'm halfway through the story, I think. But I don't know what the finish will be. Almost like a never-ending book. And there are most probably 10 more chapters, and I have no idea what's going to be in those, let alone the last page. So you have to take each page as it comes, don't you? The cause. I wanted to know what caused his problems, what's happening, what's caused it, what can make it better.
What's going on, what's happening, what's wrong, have I done anything, is this normal behaviour?
What is the diagnosis, what is wrong with the person?
What help is there out there for me, the family, for him? Is it ongoing?
I used to stand in the supermarket queues and look around at people and think, well, it hasn't happened to them, and I bet it hasn't happened to him, and why is it just happening to me?
What the future held for my son? No one could answer that one either.
Can I cope with all of this? Can you help me cope with all of this?
Could we expect this into his 60s? Would he live to his 60s with the amount of medication he's been on?
Drowning. I'm drowning in very murky water. But you'd actually be in clear water sometimes, or it would feel that you were in clear water. Things made a little bit of sense, and then all of a sudden something would happen and it all stirred up again. Not knowing where to go, you couldn't see the light to get to the top. It felt very dark.
I didn't really get the answers to the questions I wanted until I had more education myself, because I didn't really know the right questions to ask.
You've got your answers to what's going on, and there may be negative answers, there may be positive answers, but whichever they are, at least you know where you're starting from.
When you get answers to questions, it actually can make you feel relieved, because you've maybe had those answers in your head in the first place.
I tried to find out as much as I could about my son's diagnosis, but I also asked lots of questions to lots of people, but I didn't always get the answers I wanted.
So you're more educated about the illness, you know how to tackle it, you know who to go to for specific parts of caring, and so basically it makes life that much easier when you know what you're dealing with.
Sometimes answers aren't good because they're not going to be what you want to hear.
But I've been on a few educational courses, and I've also joined a couple of carers groups, and I socialise more with people who have children or partners with similar problems, and then you learn a lot from each other.
Yeah, it's a bit like being put in the middle of a maze, and somebody says, now get out of that one, and you're going round corners, you're always coming against dead ends, and sometimes when you think you've just sort of got yourself out of it, you turn another corner and you realise you're back in the same place you started. It's very scary. It makes you feel very enclosed in yourself, and you just keep walking round and round and round, not knowing where you are and how to get out of it. How long will this person be ill? And then perhaps, and what can we all do to make him better?
I was quite naive. I thought that my son would just go into hospital and get better. I had no idea that it could go on indefinitely. I also didn't realise that when he did recover enough to come home, that it could all start again. I wasn't prepared for that.
And when I did actually get intervention from mental health services, I still had all those same questions, and they were still as confused and as muddled as they would have been if I'd never asked them myself even previously.
I tried to find out as much as I could about my son's diagnosis, but I also asked lots of questions to lots of people, but I didn't always get the answers I wanted.
Not being able to get the answers to questions, or having lots of questions with nowhere to take them, is a bit like a game of blind man's buff, where you've got your blindfold on and you're just reaching out, but you're not sure what you're grabbing hold of, and you don't actually, you can't get answers from things that you're just grabbing hold of. They're not substantial enough. Yeah, it's horrible. It's a horrible place to be.
It feels good, but it feels, you feel a bit angry and frustrated as to why weren't you told this? Why didn't you get it, 2, 3, 4 years ago?
Yeah, some of them got answered. Some have never been answered, and some of them, nobody knows the answer to them, and that's the thing that you have to accept, that there's not always the answer.
It's a relief, because it's a huge responsibility to have one person solely dependent on you.
Getting answers just helps put some closure in some respects in a lot of things to do with yourself, and it helps you be quite accepting sometimes as well of the things that you can change and the things that you can't change.
And when people ask you, again, how's your partner or husband, and you say, well, I don't really know. And they say, how long is he going to be ill? And you say, I don't know. And they say, what's wrong with him? And you say, I don't know. It makes you feel very stupid and very inadequate. So
it's a lot easier if you have some of the questions answered.
I suppose the breakthrough for me was when I actually joined a support group, and professionals came in and talked to us about all the issues that I needed to know. About different types of illnesses, about medications, about where else I could go for help and support.
It's a big step, but it's worthwhile. You're not the only one out there. So, go to a carers group. It really, really does help.
Go out and find yourself as much information as you can. Talk to other people as much as you can. And again, I would always advocate that they join some sort of support group.
And I would actually urge, since hopefully anybody that wanted to or thought that they were a carer, get in touch. Get in touch with people, get in touch with your local support, your mental health support worker.
A lot of people feel that they can't ask questions, or they don't know where to ask questions, and they don't know that they have rights. Never be frightened to put your point of view and insist on being heard.